Hey everybody, Paul Irwin here from Hershey Orthopedic and Spine Rehab, CrossFit 717 and CrossFit Uncompromised again. This is our third video in our series that we're doing on good exercise technique, good movement technique. In the first two, we talked about midline stability and how to get there and why that's important. And we also talked about the hips and ideally how the hips should move with different exercises, different movements. In this one, we're going to talk about the shoulders and again how ideally they should move and why. Now the good thing is, the interesting thing is, the hip and the shoulder are very similar in that they're ball and socket joints, and as a result of their design, they're supposed to move in similar way. Like if you remember one concept, you should be able to figure out how those joints should move well. And what I mean by that is, again, referring back to the hip video where we talked about where the hips, when they go into a bent position or into a position of flexion, there should be some tension or stability created into outward rotation. So with the hips, we said the knee should be tension outward somewhat. With the shoulders, there should be some tension developed at the shoulder into outward rotation as well, as we do certain things. And what I specifically mean by that is when we're doing any kind of pushing motion. Think opening a door, push-ups, burpees, reaching overhead or overhead presses, anything like that. Right? What that looks like in real life, again, I'm going to bring Kyle over here, the perfect squatter. He also has perfect overhead pressing technique here.
If you keep telling people that, it's just going to look like we're being self-serving.
We're going to show you again what ideal movement looks like, and then we're going to show just a couple movement faults. So the PVC pipe represents a barbell. From here, Kyle's going to go into overhead press, right? And what we like to see is that his elbows, right, stay in line with his hands throughout the movement. In some people, they'll actually have the appearance of being a little inside of the hands. Okay, let's do one or two more. Good, one more. Now, a way we don't like to see someone do this is if the elbows flare outside the hands. Right? When Kyle does that, now he's in a position of internal rotation, as he has a load going overhead. That creates a lot of repetitive strain on the rotator cuff, labrum, etc. Okay. Now, if someone is struggling to do that well, many times we'll recommend they utilize dumbbells instead. It just allows your hand to move freely, and it makes it somewhat easier to perform the movement correctly. So here, Kyle can have the weights on his shoulders, his palms facing each other, his elbows are just kind of naturally in tight in that position, and he can maintain that outward position. So again, we look at elbows under the hands throughout the movement. Again, what we don't want to see, elbows out. Okay, this probably looks like a lot of us at some point in our working out career. Finally, let's talk about push-ups. Again, different position, different exercise, but the same movement principles apply. So what outward rotation at the shoulder looks like in a push-up or a burpee or something like that is the elbows stay tight to the body, okay? Pretty much staying over top the hands or in line with the hands. What we don't want to see, again, elbows flare out. And again, we see this a lot, and we see these things in many people who have been working out for quite a long time. They're fairly experienced. They think they're moving well, but it's easy to happen. Okay? So that's how the shoulder should move. We'll see you next time on our next video.
310.